about to get underway. I'm going to start this race. Here we go. Hello, Jordan Jones. Glad to see you. Currently, right now, Eddie Burden is setting out. No track.
What y'all do to turn the track on and off?
Bear with us here as we're going to have to end up aborting this race and restarting it as the cell time was still on. All right, an easy fix. All right, here we go. Jordan Jones, I'll have to ask him next time he's in here about your note. Ooh, we got a hard hit down there on the high banks corner. It's just going to take me a few minutes to see about whose cars are whose. Okay, so the white car there is Nathaniel Burton's there on black. Jason Howard's there on red. So we are implementing new rules tonight. All people that set out, as you can see, I have one of the set out cars here. They have to be in this window. So there can't be any kind of modifying or anything like that done to the cars. It keeps it as equal as possible. We go back green. We've got a little bit of a cluster going inside of Dead Man's Corner there on black and purple. As you see with Nathaniel, just gave a little bit of a boot there to Bo McPherson on purple. We got a big wad up there as one of the cars comes off the track. And we got a little bit of an incident, it looks like, between Paul Woosley's car and possibly Bo McPherson's there on the high banks. You see Jason Howard handing that car off to Gabriel Kirtley. So Gabriel's putting the car there behind the lane as it didn't get the lap counted for that wreck. Evidently come off during the crook of the track there. Ooh, we got a little bit of body contact through the crook there with the car there on blue, Tim Hall. See purple there making a move, Bo McPherson. And my dad's walking through the door. Looks like he's going to be coming back here to talk to me or something. Thank you, Pappy. All right. Not affiliated with these people, but Dad brought this in. If any of you guys are interested in maybe going and checking this out, it's a local restaurant up the street. Looks like a bike drive-in, possibly. If you want more info on that, I can surely give that to you in the comment section. So we get a, looks like Paul Woosley's car there coming off again in the big crook of the track. Nice let off there by Steven there, or Nathaniel Burton there on black. Trying to run a live track here. I think there's enough track marshals currently. They're just going to try to keep the track rolling, as it takes quite a bit of time to get them back going. Got a big wipe out there again. Maybe something up with Paul Woosley's car there, as it keeps coming off in the high banks corner there. Looks like Gabriel's been in a car back there too. Randy grabbing a car there off the bottom of the field. So that was Stephen Hayden and Jason Howard. All of them connected there now in the crook of the track. This could get maybe possibly bad towards the dead man's corner. We got Tim Hall coming off the track with it's a dark blue car. It looks like Bo McPherson's. That was pretty cool to see. You see there on white lane, Steven came off in the crook of the track, and his car just reconnected there and got back in the white lane. That happens every once in a while. It's got a little bit of a cluster there going in dead man's corner there, black, purple, and all of them giving a little bit of leeway there. Oh, we see Stephen Hayden's car there having a little bit of gear trouble. Ooh, we got a big wad up there in high banks. Looks like Jason Howard, Stephen Hayden also, and Paul Woosley involved in that incident. Some of these cars, at least when I teched them, they barely was able to pass tech, a lot of them, as I believe they're all within probably the last race that they're going to be able to do without changing tires out. Almost to the point to where they're scraping, and I would say when they're going in these high banks, they are actually pushing the tires down a little bit, scraping a little bit in the track. But just to keep the flow of the race going and starting on time, I hated to, completely not make them miss tech whenever I could still get the tool underneath it. But I'll assure you here at Lanes Raceway, whenever I can't get the tool under there, they have to do something, whether change their bushings out or get them cars up in the air a little bit more. And some of it just has to do with a lot of wrecks taking place, bending up these brass chassis. Quite malleable. One moment. right, I'm back. Had to take a quick phone call there. Looks like I missed the track mate data. But we got a little bit of time here, about 1 minute. So I'll take your attention back to this. Looks like they're having an annual bike show at Lisa's place down the road, September the 17th. Maybe you guys can get out there if you're from this place. Looks like they're giving away some prizes. You need something, Eddie? All right, it looks like everybody's rushing back to get to their position here in 5 seconds. It's going to be a tough one. So, as you just seen there, Stephen coming up to the little window, that is him putting his car up as now he has to start track marshaling. The way that the rules are stated and go currently at Lanes Raceway is if you're on a set out, if there's more than 8 people, you have to track marshal. And that way, basically, everybody gets an equal amount of time to work on their car. So Stephen can't be over there in the pits working on his car currently because he has to set out and track marshal the track. And his car is sitting there in the window by our American flag. And they're talking about right now where people finish in the race. So when Eddie finishes all 8 lanes here now, wherever he finishes, he'll need to put a sticker or a flag or something up to show where he finished in case somebody finishes on the same lap as him. Seems like a gear may be dislodged in the car. Gabriel Curley says it's hard to set a gear under pressure. We do sell these little tools here in the shop that you can stick in between the axle, and it gives you that side-to-side play that you're looking for. It'd be kind of hard to keep out there as it's just a little thin piece of metal. Actually, I can get it real quick and show it to you guys. So this is the tool in question that I bring up that helps give you that side-to-side play. Looks like this. And in that little hole there, you just stick that in the axle, and it gives you the perfect amount of play so that your gear don't get bound up and it doesn't get too loose. Jordan's not down here, Ike. I think he said that he was going to see his grandma in the hospital. So if you would, Jordan, he's a guy that comes down here and races, spends time down here. So remember his grandma on prayer. This is the tech tool that I use whenever I'm teching the cars. This section here is the height of the body that it has to be, and this is the width from the front and the rear of the car. And this, of course, here is the width of the tires have to be. If you're past this point, or I can't get that in there, then you're too wide and I have to fail you. The width of this tool here is the width that you have to have clearance from the track. So if you don't make that clearance, I have to fail you too. But and then of course checking to make sure that the motor is the correct motor that we're running in the class, which in this class is a 30,000 RPM stomp motor that we're running. Maybe an issue possibly with the track people are complaining about. I will say this, that as sharp as these turns are, because we can't really fit real big tracks here, some of these turns get quite sharp, and if you got bigger guide flags, it doesn't tend to want to go around corners. Guys, they're chattering, talking about what's going on, possibly some mislaps. See my dad there rolling the lane down. Like I said, sometimes those guide flags will gnarl up that, and when the cars come off and they're coming off with such heat, sometimes the guide flags actually catch the braid and lift it up. Try to use 2-part rubber type glue. That way it's kind of got a little bit of flexibility so it can kind of take that kind of beating, but you get car after car coming off, eventually it just wears like anything else. We got these cars going around now. Our best time's not showing up for some reason, but well, it looks like we got 2 best laps. Let's see if we can fix that. I don't know if we can fix that now or not. So it looks like I can rotate between that. There we go. There we go. Now we're good. So now we look at the median times here. Tim Hall with a blistering 1.93, followed closely by Paul Woosley with, or I'm sorry, Bo McPherson on black with a 2.0, and then Paul Woosley with a 2.01. As we go back green here. Looks like Tim Hall trying to make a pass there on purple lane up against Bo McPherson. He's making a move. He's making a move. Ooh, real tight. And he gets by. So we've got a couple of wrecks off there. Looks like possibly Paul Woosley there on blue and Camden. Jason Howard's youngster there grabbing the car. We appreciate that. Nathaniel Burden back on yellow. They're putting Bo McPherson behind the line too in case he didn't get the lap. See Tim Hall reeling them in again as our stream tries to catch up there. Tim Hall making a good smooth pass there. Ooh, and a hard hit there in the high banks. Several cars involved. 52 seconds left in the heat. want to bring you guys' attention. This Sunday is the starting of our series, Fairview IT Cup Series. Our first sponsor of the race is Howard Construction, and we plan on having 2 races this Sunday for our first weekend and a trophy for whoever turns the most laps. So we're kind of excited about that. And of course, that'll be our Cup Series NASCARs, 4-inch TurboFlex cars that are running the Eagle motors. I know a lot of guys have been talking about the rules and how they feel like this is going to shape up for the first time. So we'll get another car coming off there in the crook, almost like it just fell off on its own. That's Paul Woosley again. Paul Woosley's car kind of struggling, it seems, so far, staying on. Head back green. Tim there, looks like he's going to make another move there on Bo, on black. Bo fighting. Looks like Bo came off there. And just like any time I tell you guys, if you come off, it's 1 lap at the very least. These cars are not the most fast car, but I would say competitive-wise, they are probably the most competitive. On Sundays, we run a dual GRC. Of course, this Sunday, we'll be running the Cup Series. But stay up to date with all the changes that are going on currently as we move into the season. You can check this out at www.lanesraceway.com. Under the events tab, you'll see a calendar and whatever day you plan on coming out or whatever day you plan on watching one of the races, you can see when the races start there. Also on Facebook, when Facebook is working, you can also see it on Facebook when it's posted under its events tab. Or you can just give us a call here also at Lanes Raceway, 270-278-1400. Christy Bobby, a fellow racer, rolling through the door, was in our drag race the other night. Fared pretty well. All right, so now you see Steven there fixing to hook his controller back up on red. He's ready to get back in the race. He come and got his car like he was, and he track marshaled. Of course, all this will be reviewed. And I said our track marshals at the end of the day, the guy there in the blue, my brother, and my dad right there next to him talking to Glenn there with the hat on at the end of the table. Those are the guys that make the final say of who's winning this race. And I just relay it back to you guys. Take a quick look here in the pits. See Jason there working on his car. Getting the sticker out, putting it on his car. That's something you got to do every lane rotation. Make sure you got the right sticker on it, because if you come off and even if you put it on the correct lane, the track marshals are going to put that car back on where that sticker says. So if you're on green lane and you still got the blue sticker on, or the red sticker, then you're going to get put back on red, and then you're going to be double laning with somebody else. See Camden there putting his stuff down right next to Bo. Bo McPherson saying he ain't scared of her. That might prove detrimental to his health possibly. Take a look out here at the parking lot. Nice, beautiful, sunny day. Nice and cool, about 74, 75 degrees outside all day long. Been feeling pretty good. Looks like I'm still maybe hanging on to that cobweb as it rolls back up. 5 seconds and we'll be back racing. 2 seconds left. If anytime you are watching this live stream, I would encourage every one of you to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter accounts, as we're trying to gain a following there, maybe possibly eventually be able to get that support back to our racers here at Lanes Raceway. As we see Tim Hall now going to black as he come off and went to the high lanes there. On purple, Paul Woosley gets a little bit of a bump there from Tim Hall. Looks like he got moved pretty hard there by Tim Hall on black. So we'll get him back on here in just a second. He's going to go behind the start-finish line to be able to get that lap. All right, we're about to go green again. I heard a little bit of a gear there squeal. It's always a good practice after every heat to always check and make sure that that little bit of side play that you got in between the tires and the gear, that you hear that gear again, just have enough, but you don't need so much that it could actually come up off the pinion gear. Because if that takes place, that's the sound you're hearing, is that looseness there stripping that gear out. Always something you want to check. We have tech tools, not to mention everybody that's racing here today probably has a tech tool. If you're just starting, there'll always be somebody that'll help you out. But yeah, you got to ask, It's just like anything else. Sometimes you just got to ask for a little bit of help, make sure that the gears and stuff are splined just perfectly. Take you over here to the pinballs. We're waiting on these people to get back up. As you can see here, we got Big Daddy 3 in the lead on Godzilla. I actually witnessed that take place 2 nights ago as Glenn Burden put that big score up. On the grand scheme of things, if you are a professional pinball player, you can kind of tell that our scores are not all that good. But we feel pretty good about getting those kind of scores up there. See me there in 3rd place in Godzilla. We do hold tournaments down here, and it's a fun little thing that we do, and you guys should come down and join us. Let's get all right, as we're fixing to go back green, it seems. All right, my brother doing the work for me. I always love that. So he's done wrote down what the payouts will be at the end of this race. I'll share them here with you. As first place gets $18.90, second place will get $14.17, and third place will get $4.72. So we only pay out podiums here, as it's something always to climb for, always try to strive for, and each one of these guys know it. The more work you put into a car, the more prep you put into a car, at the end of it, it always pays off, whether it's on this tri-oval track, Speedway, or over there on the GP track Orange that we run. These guys definitely deserve those podiums, and we like to lift them up and show them that, they've done a well job. We do a celebration at the end of the night, and whoever wins, they get a date and sign the top of our track in the main corridor. So when people walk in, they can see the winners, and everybody can compare how many times they won. And it's always to strive to keep the competition alive between each one of these racers, as like I said, each one of these guys really put in the work. As Camden, he came off there on white. We're starting back racing. Seems as if maybe, I don't know if Camden's going full throttle or not. Seems like maybe his car might be running just a tad slower than the other cars. As you've seen Eddie Burden there fly by him on green. We've got another car off there, yellow, Bo McPherson, getting put back on without turning the track off. As you see there, Tim Hall still on black, this blistered pace. Tim Hall really got this tri-oval down. As last week, whenever he won this, I asked if he was going to share any of his secrets. I don't know if you guys tuned in to see that, but he said no, sir. He was going to keep those for himself. So, and that's all within his right. As we continue on, you got to have a little piece of something for yourself, I always say. And Tim Hall really does got this track down. He might be able to sell him some classes, possibly. Might get him to come in here and teach a class on how to build a slot car for a trial. Got another car, three cars coming off there in Dead Man's Corner. We'll take a quick look down there at Dead Man's Corner and see them putting these cars back on. That's the end of the heat. Let's take a quick look here at the track mate. And we can see that Tim Hall, of course, in the lead, followed by Nathaniel Burden with 178, and Paul Woosley in third with 169. See the average laps turned by Tim Hall, 62, approximately 3 laps ahead of everybody else in the field. Nathaniel Burton really putting the show out tonight as he's turning in some good laps there. 1 lap less than what Tim Hall could turn there on black. So his car's really hooking up and turning good tonight. You can always kind of tell if your car's running good by here recently Tim Hall's car. Of course, Tim Hall's car, the past 3 times he's been out, has really shown out compared to the other cars, almost on another level. So Nathaniel Burden there with 59.3. Paul Woosley and Bo McPherson, identical average times of 56.3. Everybody else within 50, high 40s. Actually, let's go to a bigger view of the rear oval here. So we get kind of somewhat of a breakdown here. On the back stretch, you see a couple of these cards, one of them there on white right next to the red lane where the red hooks up. This is a marker to show where the front of the car is going to end up going back. Got a cluster of the guys over there on the left side over here by our VIP table, which has plug-ins and stuff for those that take the ultimate package here at Lanes Raceway. You get the ultimate package here. It's a little bit of an upfront cost, but at the end of it all, you save on food, snacks, race entry, parts, and of course there's other incentives for track time also. So you see Tim Hall there with his car, his yellow car, easily distinguishable from others. And I'll be right back. All right. Got approximately 25 seconds before these cars start rounding around the track again. Everybody frantically getting back to their current positions. You see Eddie there fixing to sit down. Eddie Bird. He actually commented the other night. He liked the 2 and out race that we did. There's quite a few people in that race that didn't care so much for it, but maybe we might do it in the future. I know there's a few people wanting to do it in the GRC class. It would definitely be a beating banger for sure, but it could turn the whole tide of the race. As we see Glenn rounding around there. Heading, looks like he's supposed to be on red. He's got a car in his hands though. Right now, Camden is off the track. Next will be Nathaniel Burden will be off the track, and he'll put his car up here in the window. Like I said, anyone that doesn't track marshal during their time will be deducted 10 laps, which is pretty major, especially if you're running for position. Ooh, we got a hard hit there on the back stretch. Looks like Eddie Burton's the one that hit that hard. That was a hard hit. I would have probably checked that car out, make sure it wasn't bent. See Bo McPherson grabbing it. Oh man, did it knock a braid out or something? Something happened. Oh, that's Jason Howard's car. Okay, Jason Howard's car getting put back on purple. All right, we go back green. Keep an eye there on Jason as Tim Hall's trying to make a pass, and he does. And woo, Tim Hall threading the needle. Made it through all those cars like something you'd see in the movies. Paul Woosley passing everybody there on black. Oh, and he comes off. We get Bo McPherson and Paul Woosley in that wreck. Ooh, looks like we got another track call here as Bo McPherson kind of just got a little bit of a nudge there by Eddie Berger, just enough to get him out. More back live racing. All of them kind of spread out now, but the cluster's starting to form there right now on Bedman's Corner as 3 crash and a 4th is taken out. Thank you for that like. Appreciate it. Every like does tend to push us up, algorithmically speaking, and it helps us get out there to more race fans. Really trying to get us out there on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. As if the future grows, we could possibly give those benefits to the racers. That's the future plans anyway. Because I've been saying it ever since I was a kid that these racers that race slot cars are some of the highest hand-eye coordinated people, that I know. They may not be NASCAR racers or Formula One racers, but I'll tell you what, I don't think they get the respect that they deserve. I know you guys are probably seeing these 30,000 RPM GRC cars, and they're like, well, they're not all that fast, and that looks quite easy. Why they keep wrecking as much as they do. But I'll tell you, it's just like any other race, and everybody gets butterflies, and, everybody's on the edge. And I will say this, there's way, way, way faster cars than these. There's some cars that are so fast that you shouldn't even run it on a track this small. And, for people seeing it for the first time, they say, well, that track ain't small. But they do make several larger versions of the trioval track. As you see Tim and Paul Woosley come off there. Paul Woosley coming off again after he came off in the high banks. You see Glenn grabbing a car, possibly his car, maybe seeing if it's bent. Yeah, and that was Glenn's car there on red in the high banks. But yeah, back to the subject at hand. If you guys would, if all the people that are watching, like, share, and subscribe to our Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch channels. And that helps us get out there to more and more people. I heard one time that we're all just 4 steps away from the kings and queens of this world. And it's kind of funny to see that take place, that you know a person that knows somebody else that ends up knowing the queen. Or even, in our case, here racing, that would know a NASCAR racer. We got another big wipe out there in the high banks. You see Glenn there taking a look into his car. And Camden there, grabbing Bo's car and putting it back on. Camden is currently setting out and doing his job well. We appreciate Camden doing that, as we appreciate all those that set out to do that. We don't want to give a 10-lap penalty, but there's a lot of the times these heavier cars like this, they do wreck in this high banks, as when they come off that crook, that back end gets just a little bit swishy. I don't know if that's technically a word, but it's a good mind word for me anyway. And they end up getting into each other just a little bit, and these ain't wing cars, so they do come off. We're back green. Everybody kind of spread out now. Some hard brake done there by green, which be Man, I was just waiting on it there by the crook. I was just keeping silent, but I knew that a wreck was imminent there. As we see a body coming off there, I think that might be Bo McPherson's car. So Chris J. Carter Sr. says, it's funny you say that because Jeff Green raced on that oval when he was in Cross Plains. Well, it's funny you talk about Jeff Green because when we were young and my dad had a track down there in Livermore, he had a Blue King, American Blue King. And Jeff, well, all the Green brothers used to come down there and race at that track too. It's kind of a small world, especially with us slot car racers. And how that we all kind of come together as racers, whether it's dirt track or asphalt, on these slot car tracks during the wintertime. I think my dad there currently over there to the left of your screens working on a car. I don't know exactly what happened to it, but his car's taking quite a bit of a beating here as this fourth heat is underway. We can take a quick look, though, at the median times of Tim Hall, 1.93. Next guy closest to him, of course, Paul Woosley. These two seem to be battling it out, it seems, on this track. Paul Woosley maybe gets a little bit of the edge on the orange track, and Tim Hall gets a little bit of the edge here on the circle track. Both of these guys just battling as hard as they can to get it. But Nathaniel Burton today just really coming out there and giving a showing. Nathaniel Burton has one victory here at Lanes Raceway, looking to try to make it two, it seems. Bo McPherson there in fourth place, also a good front runner. And Jason Howard, now somewhat of a veteran, I guess you would say, here at Lanes Raceway, as he's gotten two third-place podiums here. We got another car come off there. Looks like Paul Woosley. Paul Woosley's car tend to not be handling as good as it usually does, as I've seen Paul Woosley's car really handle quite good. Seemed like a somewhat of a stutter there on yellow lane by Tim Hall before the track got shut off. Oh no, there was two cars on yellow, so we got a car over there by Jason. He's getting it, and he's putting it on blue, Eddie Burton. So that's Eddie Burton's car stalled out there on yellow. But yeah, Chris, it's funny. I brought that up a couple races ago about how many racers are from the Owensboro area and surrounding area, for that matter, and how many of them are to the top echelon when it comes to that kind of racing, both in motorcycle type racing and in track racing like NASCAR. So we take a quick look here. And some of the times we see Tim Hall there with 61.5 average. I think that's down 0.5 laps from last heat. We see Nathaniel Burton there nipping at his heels with 57.5. And as we kind of go down, it's just a lap difference between everybody else: 56, 55, 54, 52, 51, 48, and 43. But as we can tell so far, Nathaniel Burton is the only one to tie Tim currently, and that is on yellow with the equal amount of laps of 60. Take a look outside as our parking lot. It seems to be a blessing that more and more people keep crowding in here. Of course, we like that here at Lanes Raceway. And we can see all these other cars driving down the street as we got a beautiful night here. And like I said, a couple races ago, probably a really good night to take a walk. Just really beautiful outside. We head back to our overcam. We see Tim Hall frantically looking at something down there, it seems, on the track, maybe just getting his seat prepared. A man of focus. As we got Tom Payton behind me here, eagerly waiting for the IndyCar race to take place Friday and Saturday. Of course, we hold those races. He loves the IndyCar. Me and him kind of kindred spirits on that matter. Both of us loving the IndyCar. It takes a special type of person to run that IndyCar in orange, don't it, Tom?
Yep.
If you ain't got that thing tuned in, it's going to the wall, ain't it?
It's going to the wall.
Yeah. I like the challenge. I know he does too. So we've got a few other people actually bought some Indy cars here recently, so we might have some pretty good IndyCar racing going on. Tom says they're still slow. Tom has no bars held when it comes to the confidence of himself. When it comes to IndyCar racing, Tom believes he is the head dog. I don't know, maybe my dad and brother might have something to say about that. I won't comment because I tend to be the one that commentates the races if I can. If there is a lack of people racing, I will get out there and have a little bit of a fun time with them. But I never really take it all that serious. But I do love watching the guys race. So we get ready to race here in 5 seconds. We'll be going green through the lights. See Camden there back in on red. After you do a little bit of a set out, oh, Paul Woosley there in the crook of the track. Looks like he collected a car there. Tim Hall. Yeah, buddy. Oh, I don't think you can paint that one. I think that's my brother's. You can ask my brother if you can paint it. He might let you paint it. Ooh, looks like we had a pretty good sized wallop there in Dead Man's Corner. They're all kind of still clustered up there. It might be something bad for the next lap. Yeah, we get another big old cluster hit going on there. It looks like 4 are involved in that. Jason Howard. Looks like Tim Hall maybe. Eddie Burden. And Camden. Big wreck. Kind of spread out a little bit now. We might have a couple laps for our next big incident. Let's go to the big rear oval view to get just a little bit of a more zoomed in view to see what's going on here. Let's see these cars getting put back on. Paul Woosley there, kind of stalled off of yellow. As we see Stephen getting his car put on right next to Paul Woosley. Another wreck there off white. That'd be Bo McPherson. Supporting a dark blue Parma body there. Parma, kind of sad when it comes to slot car racing. Out of business, but man, did they make some good FCR/GRC bodies. Just made out of quality Lexan. They can really take a beating. Some of these newer type bodies, though they're tough, it seems like whenever they crack, and we get one on the lid down there at Dead Man's Corner in a loose gear, I heard. I think that was Paul Woosley there on yellow that took that big hard hit and flipped. I didn't even see the car come off the track down there. You see Randy Kirtley there has that car in hand. But man, just shows you how competitive these guys are, really driving her in there deep. Showing each other what for, as they say. Go back green again. We take a quick look at some of these times. Tim Hall with 270 laps, followed by Paul Woosley, who him and Jason Howard both kind of battling it out here. Paul Woosley only turning currently 19 laps. Probably if the trend continues, Jason Howard will take over second place here within the next few seconds, as his median time is 7 thousandths better. But there's still enough time that could possibly take place. And it's within one wreck. If a wreck takes place, as we see Jason Howard just there took over Paul Woosley. Now Jason Howard does have Black Lane as he's collected there with another car right outside of the crook. Black Lane, you're really able to turn quite a few laps as it's less footage versus the top of the track there with red. So kind of a gradient factor. I always let people know if you do get a choice where to start, if somebody asks you, hey, where do you want to start? If green and yellow are open, those are your first two choices always. Uh, those are kind of equal lanes. One of them puts you about midway on red and white, and the other one lets you run the lower lanes first when all the wrecks are happening up top. So it's kind of just how do you feel in that given day. But yeah, I know at least for our championship race in the Fairview IT Cup coming up that there is going to be a qualifying, so you will be able to choose for the circle track. As you see there on yellow, Paul Woosley really just giving it to Beans there, kind of bounced off of blue car there, Steven. But then we're under another wreck here. I think that's Bo McPherson's car again. Or no, that's Glenn Burden's car. They both have similarly colored cars. But all these median times relatively close with one another. You can see some of the guys that are just starting or some of the guys that are trying to get their feel for it, Camden and Steven, as they haven't been here quite as much as the other guys. They're still getting a feel for it, so they're about a second or so off. But it don't take long. Like I said, everybody here was rookies 3 weeks ago when everybody was running these kind of laps. And to see people turn more than 1 or 2 laps without a wreck, that was unheard of 3 or 4 weeks ago. If any of you guys were watching when we first started this stream, and one on the lid, I think that was Paul Woosley there on the backstretch on his lid, hard hit it seems. Just thank goodness that didn't happen in Dead Man's Corner, because he'd have went flying probably in the gut of my brother there. When they get on that Lexan lid, it's like they're on glass. They're super slick. And they just slide over that glue like it ain't nothing. So got a hard hit there coming outside of Dead Man's Corner. Tim Hall involved with another car. So we see these medians. Currently, Jason Howard running a 1.96, top of the leaderboards for median lap times, really hauling down there on black. Curious to see after this 8 seconds when we go to the track mate to see how he stacks up against the higher guys here. So Jason comes from RC racing, and the stories I've heard, he was quite good at RC racing. But as the stories I also hear from guys that run RC is it gets quite expensive. And I remember when we were younger, racing go-karts was cheap. You could go and race go-karts and nobody really did a whole lot of prepping tires and stuff like that. But where I hear it now, you can go race open wheel modifieds for about the price it would cost you to race go-karts competitively. But just like any kind of racing, whenever it's popular and the payouts are big, prices go up, it seems. All right, let's take a look at TrackMate here real quick and compare Jason Howard's black lanes. Like I said, he was hauling out there, ladies and gentlemen. Jason Howard loves the black lane. The first time tonight that we've seen that impenetrable armor pierced from the immaculate Tim Hall. Tim Hall turning 61 laps and Jason Howard there turning 62. Tim Hall, respectively speaking, is turning into the new Randy Kirtley around here at Lanes Raceway, with a reputation from all the guys that Tim Hall's unbeatable. But that right there, the blood has been drawn. Jason Howard's wanting to dethrone Tim from his consecutive win streaks here on the Tri-Oval. How will Tim fare? It's still anyone's guess. I'm rooting for them all, and every one of these guys have a special place in my heart, that's for sure. So we see, hey, it's me. T says, hi there, Donovan, with a big smiley face. I didn't even know we could do emojis on the text there. But hello, T. If y'all don't know, T is my wife. So she's having a little fun. Let's go take a closer look here in the pits. So we see some minds at fault up there. We see Jason Howard after he just finished that beautiful black lane. I kind of want to go out there and talk to him. You see that microphone right there? It's just begging to be me and Jason doing an interview together. I'll tell you, Jason was one that really did not appreciate the 2 and out. But I still think if we held another 2 and out, just because Jason loves us guys here at Lanes Raceway so much, he'd probably still get in it. He likes competition. See Bo McPherson now sitting there, getting ready to do some track marshaling. It's his turn to come out and do a little bit of track marshaling. Eddie Burden putting his car there on black by the crook of the track. Thank you for that like. Appreciate it. We see Nathaniel Burton there coming around. Also, his daddy there, Glenn Burton, taking his card there, or somebody's card off green. And, it must have been his card whenever he was on green. He just put it there. He's going on blue. How's it going, Bo? How's the race going for you?
Slowly but surely. We started out pretty good, but now we're on downfall.
Downfall. You going to make a come-uppance when you get back on red?
Motor's about shot. Just getting slow.
Motor's about shot. Didn't you just buy that motor?
No, that was for my NASCAR.
Oh, that was for the NASCAR. Bo, he's evidently on a motor burning spree here as of late.
And gears.
And gears, he says. But we just got one of his motors replaced here earlier. Tim Hall actually helped him out with that and got his motor sorted in for him as I was covered up at the moment. So I appreciate Tim Hall for helping us there. Ooh, and I heard a big rough sound on a gear there. As we see Paul Woosley there coming off again on the crook of the track. I tell you, I don't know what's up with that car. It's kind of a mind boggler. Dirty tires, possibly, maybe old tires, I don't know. Bent car, but it does seem to want to come off there quite a bit. So we see the cars clustering up down there at Dead Man's Corner, trying to get a car there on black to go. Eddie Burden there probably feeling the pressure as his car wasn't wanting to go in the slot. But you see him make an immaculate move there on purple of Stephen Hayden. Really drove her in there deep and was able to pass Stephen Hayden as he did it again. We got Paul Woosley off here having a rough night there. Paul Woosley off there on the high banks of the track. And he gets put back on orange. Paul Woosley currently holding down orange lane, fending his third place from Nathaniel. Nathaniel back in, really putting the pressure on these guys as I'm sure they didn't really want to see Nathaniel back in as he's been turning some good lap times and staying consistent. It's going to be a pretty good race here coming down to the wire, I feel, between Jason, Paul, Nathaniel, and possibly even Eddie. We see Bo McPherson coming around to the back of the track there, putting Tim Hall. He's playing a joke on Tim, I believe. I don't know. He put him way off there in the back. Usually they go right in front of the start-finish line, but maybe Tim wanted him to put it there. So I hear that chirp of that gear again from one of the guys' cars. We got a good little cluster up there of black, yellow, orange, and white. All of them just kind of running consistent there. Do get somewhat of a wreck to take place coming out of the corner there on black and yellow, and a real loud piglet squeal coming from one of those cars as that gear's too loose. I think it's Nathaniel Burden's car giving that piglet squeal. go back under green. Ooh, and a hard hit down there on Dead Man's Corner. Tim Hall, Paul Woosley, and Jason Howard. Ooh, and another one there, purple, Stephen Hayden there involved in that also. Ooh, we still got a little bit of a chirp of that gear. Ooh, and we got one coming off there on black. That'd be Eddie Burden as he gets put back in a little bit better this time. Found the guide flag hole. Seems like possibly the crown gear might be on the wrong side for one of those cars, as I keep hearing that chirp take place in the high banks. So you want to kind of put that crown gear to where it gets tighter versus looser, and then of course set it real tight. That way, if it does get loose, when it goes around those high bank corners like that, it gets slung into the pinion, and it'll get you at least to the end of the ring. As we see black there, Eddie Burden's car come to a complete stall there. Might be the gear that is in question. You see Nathaniel there, giving her a little once over, maybe trying to get her tightened there. Trying to get a little bit of a better view here, as he's going to bring it around to, looks like somebody else to maybe fix it, possibly Dad. So, Bo, what's going on out there, man?
Eddie either blew his gear or he is, no, he looks like he lost a wire. He lost a wire.
Lost wire. Well, I did notice when he's going around that high bank there, it kind of sounded like maybe that the crown gear was on the opposite side. It should have been. It should have been on the side that when he goes around it would push. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I done that earlier. I put my crown gear on the opposite side and I went in reverse. That's pretty bad.
Yeah, I mean, you always got to keep an eye on that kind of stuff, don't you?
Mm-hmm. So one thing, you know how to sell gears. This one isn't even ruined or nothing yet.
Well, I'll tell you what, those Parma gears are far superior than those Cox gears. They do run a little bit more, but they are able to take that pig squeal a little bit more than those Cox gears. I seen a guy earlier, I think it was Paul Woosley, brought a Cox gear in, and it's the first time I ever seen it. It was actually dislodged itself from the nut that you actually screw into the axle, which I thought was kind of crazy. See Tom Payton there giving Bo McPherson a little rub on the back. Bo needs it as he's trying to get his car working here. As he screams out the word junk. I'm starting to think that might be Bo McPherson's favorite word.
It is.
But Bo McPherson, he does have a good spirit about him, ladies and gentlemen, and he does not mind putting new gears and working hard on his car. So it's just a matter of time for Bo's up there racing for them podes.
Hey, NASCAR's where I'm at. That's my class. I like it.
Bo McPherson drives the Lightning McQueen NASCAR.
Not anymore. Lightning McQueen got retired.
You retired Lightning McQueen?
He got thrown away in the trash.
It happens. Lightning McQueen took quite a bit of damage the first couple races, didn't he?
More than quite a bit.
Well, I know that first race, it was kind of cool to see that in that first race, you took home the dub right out of the box. You just laid her on the track and beat everybody.
No glue on tires or nothing.
That was pretty cool, wasn't it? It's always a good feeling.
Can't get a podium.
Well, I got to ask you a question, Bo. How did it feel when you was climbing that ladder and you got to sign your name?
Felt pretty good. Not gonna lie.
Was it one of like the best feelings you got ever?
No, probably not, but it was close to it.
Are we in the top 5?
Yeah.
All right, that's what I like to hear. 3? Hey, that's high praise. Yeah,
First or last.
that is true, but
Bobby.
you still get to hold the ladder here at Lanes Raceway at least. We see a bunch of guys there gathering up at Dead Man's Corner. Let's take a quick look down there and see what's going on there. It's like a powwow. Maybe these guys are talking strategy as they all break up as soon as I go down there. It's like we might be going back green possibly. Or no, I just couldn't get them in the camera view.
Let's give him an interview.
Go out there and give them an interview, Bo.
I need a microphone.
It's out there on the table, on the orange table. Bo's going to do an interview, and I'm going to stay quiet.
All right, Eddie. What's going on? What are you changing about it?
Ain't changing nothing.
Why not? What are you changing? You changing controllers, obviously. Why?
Because it's suggested that I might need to try something different.
Well, what do you think about it, Steve?
I just want to, make some laps.
Well, it's the best way to do it.
All right. Looks like Bo's interviews are over. And it kind of seems like the guys may have enjoyed that. I couldn't hear anything that was going on, but we'll see.
Eddie was a horrible interviewer.
Was he?
Yeah, he was awful.
Well, he's been having a rough go of it seems, as he's battling right now for fourth place. We hear another hard hit. 2 cars involved, maybe 3. These cars are bouncing Lexan left and right. See Eddie Burden there getting put back on there on black and able to go over to the heat. Let's take a look at TrackMate. As we see Tim Hall holding on to the lead with 360 laps. And Jason Howard there with 330, getting him within 30. Paul Woosley, 325 within 5 laps to Jason Howard. Nathaniel, of course, just now getting back in as we kind of compare some of his lap times comparable with Tim Hall. But he still has 3 more lane rotations where some of these guys only have 2 left and their racing is over with. And Bo McPherson, 267 as he's going back in. Just 20 laps down from Nathaniel. And they will be racing the next 3 heats also. Tim Hall over here, ladies and gentlemen, trying to wake me up. Kind of scared me a little, I ain't gonna lie. I just seen a TikTok my wife and some of the kids here at the track made, and it was quite funny. So you can check our TikTok out and kind of see some of that. So we now have Tim Hall setting out for this race, and he'll be back in after 1 lane rotation. Bo McPherson over there telling me to check out that car. That is not what I do. I just make sure there's a car there. As long as that car sits there the whole heat, nobody gets deducted any kind of laps, and that's just how it is. Tries to keep everybody fair as we got ready to go racing. So we get 4 lights, and then we go on green. I still hear a gear slip going on. Maybe the same crown gear possibly. So we get 2 cars involved in the wreck there, it seems. Glenn Burden there on purple. So this is going to cause somewhat of a cluster up here down at Dead Man's Corner. Possibly the next lap that takes place might end up in another wreck. as we end up having a pretty huge wreck here in the high banks. I actually think a car come off and a body come off. You see Tim Hall there holding a body and car in hand. So that thing might have hit the wall. Jason Howard cracking up over it. It's Bo McPherson's car, it seemed. It's a hard hit down there. Glenn Burden again down there on purple, kind of struggling a little bit on purple tonight. Glenn usually a really fast runner on the lower lanes. As well, he is still fast, as you can see at 2.34 median time. Jason Howard currently with 2:13 median time, leading the pack as he takes over first place. Paul Woosley in second place with a median time of 2.21, nipping at the heels. But the one to really keep your eyes on here would be Nathaniel Burden, as, like I said, Paul Woosley will be coming out this heat, so he's going to start dropping off for a whole lap. And what we do is what's called a round robin. You can see it there at the top of your screen, in the left portion of the screen at the top. And it's 7 of 9 heats. So there's only 8 lanes, so everybody has to set out at least one lane. And when they set out that lane, of course, they're not making any laps. That's why we're having so many different changes in where people are ending up. So we get a hard hit there again. Paul Woosley at the crook of the track. Been an arch nemesis for Paul Woosley all night long, it seems, there on white. We look at purple and black there. Purple making a move and was able to successfully do it. Glenn Burden. Black comes off and takes out quite a few guys there. Almost a complete field wipe out there. So congratulations for Steven on such a marvelous feat. Taking them all out there. Ooh, as you see Steven really giving Glenn there the hard hit. Ooh, we got some big hits there going off there in the high banks right there by Tim Hall. He put his hands up. I think he might have been a little bit afraid one of them was going to get a fingernail or something. You see Bo there messing around with Jason. They just kindled their relationship a couple days ago as they were at each other's necks, evidently. I'm guessing all in good fun. And then they made up. I think they went out and ate together, and now they're good buddies. But it looks like maybe Bo's trying to instigate a little bit of competition between him and Jason. Get 2 cars off there. One on green, Nathaniel Burden. The other one on white, Paul Woosley. And I'm telling you, black and purple, when they go around each other, it is a scary thing. They tend to want to do it on Dead Man's Corner there. Is that another car off the track? We put wings on these cars, they might actually be able to take flight. That's Bo McPherson's car there. I guess a little payback for playing jokes on Jason, maybe. Oh, we see blue just give orange a little bit of the bullhorns. That's Camden giving Jason a little bit of rub. As we see yellow giving a little bit of rub to both blue and orange as we get a lap call there. 2 seconds left in the heat. It might be no bars held in the coming next two lane rotations, as I think some of these guys are not giving anybody leeway. Nobody's letting off for anybody anymore, and it's all just pressing to the wall. I'm seeing like people running deep and just literally bouncing off Lexan. So we'll see how it turns. Let's take a look at the track mate. As we see Jason Howard taking over first place currently, but now that Tim's back in, Tim gets to do 2 more lane rotations before coming out, so he'll be able to make up that time against Jason, as Jason and Paul Woosley both are on their last heat, so they need to make up as many laps as they can to even stay competitive. As we see Paul Woosley there with 373, and we see Jason Howard with 386. Nathaniel Burden there with 334, reeling in there.
Tim, I got you. I got you. Might be the first time the history isn't on, but I got you. And Gabriel over there making me feel even worse about myself.
Minute and 30 seconds, and we'll be going back green racing. See Tim Hall taking his place there on red. Thank you for that like. Seeing that light go across there, I appreciate it. If everybody that is watching, yet again, would like, subscribe, and share with all your friends and family, and really get us out there. So go back to the parking lot while these guys are getting red. Well, it's done turned dark on us here in Livermore. Still nice and clear. We got some bugs over there trying to feed that spider in the top left of the screen. Been keeping him. I like spiders. They tend to keep away some of the nasty bugs, and kind of like watching them every once in a while. Quite busy going on out here at night here in Livermore. Current time here in Livermore is 7:45. We also ordered pizza tonight from Kids to Go. All the kids and guys out here love to get them a slice of cheese and pepperoni from Kids to Go. Popular pizza. I think he uses pumpernickel as a type of cheese, if I'm not mistaken. You see Paul Woosley there putting his car up in the windows. We're getting ready to go racing here in approximately 15 seconds. We will be green. Paul Woosley taking his position in the high banks there to catch any of these cars coming off flying. Bo McPherson there in the red, run as fast as he can to get back to the track in time. And Jason Howard really on a speed trip. He's going to make it though, I think. Oh man, this guy, woo, he did it. Look at this guy. We got a hard hit up there in Dead Man's Corner. Jason said he kicked that table pretty hard. I might have to find a way and clip that. Put that on some highlights for tonight. That's the dedication of these racers. Really just trying to get in there and get as many laps as they can, willing to leap tables in a single bound. We get a car off. It looks like Nathaniel Burden's car there on black. As he gets put back on blue. See Nathaniel Burden there now in third place. And Bo McPherson had a breakout. Somebody must have rode his line. Ooh, we get a track call. Something's going on here. Jason Howard getting put on white as he was riding red lane. Tim Halls. All right, looks like Nathaniel Burden and Jason Howard both didn't get that lap. They're going to get put behind the lap counter. Right there next to Tom Payton there in the blue, helping track marshal. We go back green. Ooh, a bit of a hard hit there coming in the entry of the high banks there for Jason Howard. Everybody laughing and cracking up. I don't see much of a crack up there by Jason Howard as we take a little bit of a look at Jason's face. I don't think he thought that was too funny. We'll go back green. Black lane there, really hauling the mail. Glenn Burden. Like I said, Glenn usually at home on black and purple. As we see Jason yelling, that's what you get. He's here to total cars. His controller there about to get snagged possibly by Tim Hall's car if he comes off hot. Rip that controller right out of his hand if he don't get that off the track. I didn't want to interrupt them racing right there because they was in a pretty good little mode there. I didn't know if I was going to get to tell him. I just kept looking at that controller cord. I was getting kind of nervous, but he got her there straightened out. Those guys really was on a run there. Quite a tear for these guys in the GRC. Get a little bit of a cluster up between black and purple there, Camden and Glenn. We see yellow there breaking, Stephen Hayden. You take a look there at Tim Hall back there on red as he made that really good judgment call of just letting off on red, and he had to do that 2 times in a row. Some of these veteran racers, as you can tell, they're able to keep one eye ahead of the car and the other eye on the car to be able to let off on the trigger quick enough to dodge some of those wrecks and keep their car from getting injured. Running a really good, impressive red lane. See quite a few cars involved in that wreck. There in the high banks, you see Paul Woosley grabbing a car, taking it back behind the start-finish line. Possibly something wrong with that car. I think he might be blocking it there in the top left of our screen. Well, let's take a look at the median times. We see Jason Howder with a 2.24 median. Tim Hall with a little bit faster of a median with 2.13. Can't currently see what Nathaniel's is. 2.10 for Nathaniel. All relatively close with each other, but Glenn Burden with a 2.02 on black. Really showing Glenn's strong points there on the lower lanes. I know in the basement, when Glenn used to race with us in the basement, he used to love to run the lower 3 lanes. Of course, that was the closest to the pit table, as we all kind of love running those lanes. See Bo McPherson getting put back on green right before the start-finish line. Oh, and we need a track call there as one of the cars go flying off the track. Just barely slid past my brother and dad in between them there. That's Bo McPherson on green. Bo McPherson currently running a 2.37 median lap time with 45 laps turned as we do a lane rotation. Let's take a quick look at the track mate and see, now that Tim's back in, how good he did on red. Currently, Tim Hall, 56 laps on red, the best laps turned on red all day long. Also, Tim Hall very good on white lane, being able to keep the consistency of his car, both 56 laps on both of those lanes. quite impressive. As it boils down to this last heat, Jason Howard now coming off. You're going to start seeing him drop through the field, and you'll start seeing Tim climb a little bit back up, as it shouldn't be no problem for Tim to be able to take that position from him. Next closest to Tim would be Nathaniel with 390, as he is in sporting distance between Tim Hall currently, but something major would have to happen to Tim Hall for him to take a loss here tonight. Also, Paul Woosley there with 373, as that would round up your top four. All right, we're back. We do actually, Chris J. Carter Sr., we actually run a Champion Turbo chassis. Hang on one sec, I'll show you what it looks like as you can take a quick look.
Everybody's car in the window. Because everybody's got to have their car in the window whenever they're not racing.
This is what we're running in the Cup Series. It's a Champion Turbo Flex. The motor that we run is an Eagle motor, and those are really two of the only limitations I think that we actually have to run in the Cup Series. Everything else is kind of open, so you can run silver braid, graphite guide flags, drilled axles, angled pinions, whatever size tire you want to in the rear. All of our rules are stated on our website at www.lanesraceway.com. You can also check under Events tab and see when we are holding our Cup Series races. We're back green racing. It looks like Paul Woosley just involved in a wreck there as he come off the track and really got hit hard by another car. As we see Jason Howard's car go up underneath the track there, or Jason Howard's kid go up underneath the track and get the car. as that was Bo McPherson that took that big hard wallop there as we get back under racing, and Tim Hall there on green coming off as we get another track call. It says Chris J. Carter Sr. Okay, I got a box full of those, trying to make it up there. Chris, as always, I tell everybody here, we'd love to have you. Every one of these guys, as you can tell, all high-spirited fellas. We take this as a hobby, but at the same time, we do take it serious, as we want to try to tech our cars as best as possible and make them as fast as possible. But at the end of the day, it's all in good family fun, as we do keep a good demeanor, and we love having newcomers come down here. And I know for a fact, if there's anything I can help you with, I'll give you all my secrets. As we see a car coming off there on black, Camden Burden, and coming into contact with Nathaniel Burden. It's Nathaniel Burden now in second place. Paul Woosley taking up third place, finishing up our podium finishes. My brother just come in here recently, and we might actually try to run a NASCAR race after this. Now, whether or not I stream it, I don't know. It depends on if the guys want to stream the NASCAR race or not, as we get two more cars coming off, one of them rolling off the track there at Tri-Oval. So we see Jason's. Oh, no, that ain't Jason's kid. That's another kid here at Lanes Raceway. We strongly encourage these kids to get into a good hobby like slot car racing. Kind of teaches them how to be competitive, teaches them how to win, and teaches them how to lose. And we really enjoy, just being mentors to these kids around here and helping them with whatever they need. We head back green here. We get a little bit of a cluster between purple, blue, and green. That would be Nathaniel, Bo, and Tim. All three kind of running together there. That kind of cleared out. Now purple's trying to make a move there on yellow. That'd be Nathaniel and Glenn Burden. Father and son duo. Young Buck versus the Old Bullhorn. Also known as Big Daddy here at Lanes Raceway. Glenn Burden, fellow pinball player, also known as a pinhead. Kind of pinheads together. Me and Glenn, usually after all the racing's done for the night, we may throw a couple $dollars in them pinball machines and give it a little go and see what we can do. Of course, Glenn currently holding the lead in Godzilla. So I don't know how that car on red is still on. That thing went around that track super fast. There's possible surge of a couple cars on the track at once. See the car there on white getting moved back behind. My brother there giving me a good insight that we're going to start taking pictures of the top three and posting those of each one of these races. And I always love bringing attention to our racers, as they really do deserve what they got out here. As we see, that's the end of the race. We can take a quick look here at the track mate, Tim Hall, taking home yet another victory here at the Tri-Oval, making it a home stay for him. Might as well put up a mailbox there for Tim Hall, because he's feeling right at home in position number one as recently. Nathaniel Burden really doing a great job tonight, as he makes a real good run for it. In second position with 448 laps. And rounding up our podium finish here, Jason Howard also needs to put him a mailbox up, as he has really been holding down third position here at Lanes Raceway with 437 laps. As we take a quick view here of the racers, I'm going to go out and get a quick interview of a few of them, and then we're going to do our celebrations, but that'll be pretty much it after I do the interview. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share to all your friends and family. Tim Hall. Hey, do I need to get you a mailbox set up here at Lanes Raceway for first place finishes?
I'd like to have a mailbox set up that way, but they're getting closer every week. They're improving a bunch.
Well, I did see this week, I told them, I said, blood was drawn that I seen that Jason Howard and Nathaniel Burden actually did have a better heat than you did, which is abnormal for the past 3 races.
Yeah, they're getting better. I'm watching them. I'm quit giving up all my secrets.
So you heard it here first. He may have just been bashful and shy last week whenever and he doesn't give up his secrets, but I think he's given all the secrets. These guys are really reeling him in. Paul Woosley, you just had it right there between you and Jason Howard. I got to know, man, what was going on with that car tonight? I seen a lot of wrecks happening right here in the crook of the track.
Catch it. Car's loose and just getting away from me.
So it wasn't nothing like maybe wrong with the car or anything like that, just possible, just head game.
That's right. Just head games and probably just do some work on some tires.
Well, if anybody works on a car, I know it's you, and I know that you'll have that thing back running crispy and clean before too long. Nathaniel Burton, I got to talk to you, man. Impressive putting on a show. I think seeing that we had 9 people here tonight, it kind of maybe confused some of the guys out here. But as I was telling him, I said, you really got to keep your eyes on Nathaniel, as I think when he gets back in, he's